Now I will continue a lot of ants. I don't know. In my rain this afternoon, I know lots of ants. I just go to grind some backlogs. That was what I need to do in the afternoon. First, I need to wake up at 1 p.m. to buy a sports shoe. A sports shoe. If not, my legs is hurt. It hurt very painful now. So I need to buy a sports shoe to a sports shoe. Football shoe. I don't know that they had not, but I need to buy soon. Now I will continue did awakening the heart in the heart sutra chapter. The Bodhisattva Avalokita, while moving in the deep course of perfect understanding, sit lie on the five sankat and found them equally empty. After the penetration, he overcame ill being. Listen, Sariputta, form is emptiness, and emptiness is form. Form is not another than emptiness. Emptiness is not another than form. The same is true with feeling, perception, mental fragmentation, and consciousness. Listen, Sariputta, all that man make with emptiness. They are neither produce nor joy, neither define nor immaculate, neither enriching nor decreasing. Therefore, in emptiness there is neither form nor feeling nor perception, no mental formation nor consciousness, no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind. No form, no sound, no smell, no tact, no talk, no object of mind. No realm of element from eye to mind consciousness, or interdependent origin and no intention of them. From ignorance to death and decay. No you being, no cause of you being, no end of you being, and no path. No understanding and no attainment. Because there is no attainment, the Bodhisattva grounded in perfect understanding. Find no obstacle for the mind, having no obstacle, they overcome fear, liberating themselves forever from illusion, realizing perfect nirvana. Overtake the past, present, and future, attain to this perfect understanding, right, full, right, and universal enlightenment. Therefore, one should know that perfect understanding, the high-jit mantra, the only echo mantra, the joy of you being, the incorruptible truth, a mantra of Paraparamita, should therefore be proclaimed. Gete, Baragete, Barasagate, Bodhisattva. Interbeing. The fourth one, interbeing. If you are powered, you will see clearly that there is a cloud floating the sheet of paper. Without a cloud, there will be no rain. Without rain, the tree cannot grow, and without tree, we cannot make a paper. The cloud is essential for the paper to exist. If the cloud is not here, the sheet of paper cannot be here either. We can say that the cloud and the paper interbeing, a word that is not in the dictionary yet, but we combine the verb fact inter with a verb to be. We have new verb interbeing. If we look into the sheet of paper even more deeply, we can see the sunshine in it. If the sunshine is not here, the forest cannot grow. In fact, nothing can grow. Even we cannot grow without sunshine, so we know that the sunshine is shown in the sheet of paper. The paper and the sunshine in the eye, if we continue to look, we can see the lodger who took out the tree and brought into the mill to be transformed into the paper. And we see the weak, we know that the lodger cannot exist without his daily bread, and therefore the way that became his bread is also the sheet of paper. And a lot of further and more than in it too. When we look into it, why we see that without all the things, the sheet of paper cannot exist. Looking even more deeply, we can see we are in it too. They are not difficult to see because when we look at the sheet of paper is part of our perception. Your mind here and mine also, so we can say that everything in here in the sheet of paper. You cannot bother out one thing that is not here, time, space, the earth, the rain, the mineral, the soil, the sunshine, the cloud, the river, the head. Everything goes with the sheet of paper. That is why I think the word interbe should be in the dictionary. To be is to interbe. You cannot judge by yourself alone. You have to interbe with every other thing. The sheet of paper because everything else. Suppose we try to return one of the elements to its source. Suppose we return the sunshine to the sun. Do you think that the sheet of paper would be possible? No, without sunshine, nothing can be. And if we return the lobster to its mother, then we have no sheet of paper either. The fact is that the sheet of paper is made of only non-paper element. And if we return the non-paper element to their source, then there can be no paper at all. Without non-paper element, like my lobster, sunshine, and so on, there will be no paper. Acting as a sheet of paper, it contains everything in the universe on it. But the Hashura seems to say the opposite. Avalokiteshvara tells us that thin and empty. Let's look much more closely. The greatest happiness. The belly version of this sutra is called the Mangala Sutra. Mangala means a good omen, a forerunner, something to come, usually something positive that will bring happiness and prosperity. The word also contains a blessing because in this sutra the Buddha teaches about the more important blessing, those things that bring happiness. This sutra can be broken down sancta by sancta for meditation as well as reflected on as a whole. It is broken down here for closer study and reflection. Not to be so associated with the foolish one, to live in the company of wise people, honoring those who have worked and knowing this is the greatest happiness. The greatest blessing to have good, wise, kind-hearted friends close by. We can be happier like we have shared healthy space within us and around us. We need a habitat that is beautiful, nourishing, and that gives us the safety and the freedom that we need. It is a great blessing to be among men who are practicing kindly and refraining from violence, stealing, and cruelty, and not to carry out in addition. A community that practices love and understanding, the best antidote to addiction to drugs, alcohol, and casual and careless sex. When people suffer, they look for the distraction in order to forget the pain, but it only distracts us temporarily from our suffering. They don't heal us. Our community can be a family that stands. We can hand with everybody with whom we interact in our daily life, but we can choose. We can choose to live among those who are kind and virtuous. When we can interact with those who are honorable and we have a great virtue, we are creating conditions that will bring us lasting happiness. To live in a good environment, to have plenty to sit, and to rely that you are on the right path, this is the greatest happiness. To live in a good environment means to live in a place where the surrounding and all the activity have the purpose of nourishing us and building community. Without this bad environment, we can go very far when we practice meditation together, eat together, work together in a loving and a quiet way. We are nourishing our peace and harmony. The physical environment and the presence of others is very important. Often, if we are home alone, even sitting for 50 minutes on meditation seems impossible. We think we have so many other things to do, and perhaps we feel silly sitting alone like that. But if everyone around us is sitting, we find it more easier. That's why creating a nourishing environment is crucial. Only with this support can we be a source of joy for ourselves and others. Community called Sangha in Buddhism, a Thai and the true ingredient of the universal medicine. If you can take that medicine every day for a number of years, then you have changed. You become a plant, a tree, deeply rooted in the soil of the Sangha. Happiness and love become possible, and then you can go back and help your outlook family, your our spiritual community, and your society. It is crucial that we all can learn in the act of Sangha building and figure out how to create a nourishing, harmonious environment in our lifetime. If we do not have it by that, there is nothing to keep us on the right back and keep us from entering the hell realm or the realm of the hundred of ghosts. We don't need to leave it all to look for hell. Hell realms are everywhere, even the town in which we live. There are hell realms that we have visited or that we have lived through, and we know that the hell realms are real. We may have been caught in situations of abuse, violence, cruelty, fear, or addiction. We may have been carried away by strong emotions such as hate, jealousy, or infatuation, and so committed wholesome action. And we know that all over the world, countless living beings are suffering in situations of war, poverty, injustice, and environmental destruction. Hungry gods are the monks who are probably craving food but are unable to take it in nourishment. Hungry gods are not meat that live among us and people who may not first enrolled in but who are still hungry for knowledge, for love, for hope, and for something to believe in. We have to build community a little bit everywhere so the hungry gods can find the few. It is the atmosphere of harmony and community that can help the hungry gods get root and undo that knot of suffering. Without nourishing community around us, we can find the right path to stability, ease, and liberation. Having a bed is wonderful. Seeing the bed is already great happiness. There is no reason to be fearful or confused anymore. When we have recognized the bed, our shell of love, confusion, and despair disappear. Happiness becomes immediately possible. To have a chance to learn and grow, to be skillful in your professional craft, practicing the pursuit of love and spirit is the greatest happiness. To have a chance to learn around means to have the opportunity to have good education as well as to learn the Dharma. Learning is something that must happen every day, even for the Buddha. We want to have vocation that does not cause harm to others or to the environment. When we can learn and practice our skill at the same time, we support ourselves and our family. This is already a great blessing. There are many lucrative vocations that keep up drifting and turning in bed at night because they are not ethical. Those vocations cause harm to others, to the environment, and they force to lie and hide the truth. Even though the job may be lucrative, they cause a lot of suffering that go deep into our soul. When we are able to find a job that reflects our idea of compassion, happiness, right, even if the job is not lucrative. Having a vocation that does not cause harm to others, to the environment, and through it we can express our compassion in a call for great happiness. 2,500 years ago, the Buddha offered his lay students 5 precepts of right life to help them live peaceful, wholesome, and happy life. We call them 5 mindfulness training. Mindfulness is the awareness of what's going on in our body, our feeling, our mind, and in the world, and the basis of its training. With mindfulness, we can avoid harming ourselves and others. We can protect ourselves, our family, and our society, and we can ensure safety and happiness now and in the future. Even if we are happy in our work and following the precept, it's still requiring the daily commitment to practice love and speech and refrain from speaking to others with hate work. When we use love and speech, we are from it understanding and more suffering. Even if other people use hate language when talking to us, we will suffer less if we use only love and speech in return. When we have understanding and compassion, we have light and we can communicate well with other people. And even though we are violent and cruel, we can accept them. We know they are unhappy and that what we are, they are victims of their own anger, violence, and discrimination. When compassion and understanding are ignored, we are no longer motivated by the desire for the punishment or revenge. Love will become available to us and communication become possible. Without real communication, having courage to be surrounded by family, friends, and a spiritual community that know how to use love is a great daily blessing. Because happiness is possible here on earth, the Buddha offers spoke a practical blessing so that this. To be able to serve and support your parents, to carry your own family, to have vocation that brings your joy, to this their greatest happiness. Your parents are the one who raised you and cared for you when you were little. Now that you are an adult, you can support your parents that support you. These are the highest blessing. There are many ways to support parents. We can offer financial support if we have that resource, but we can also spiritual and emotional support. Financial offering are wonderful. However, more people suffer spiritual than financially. If we know how to practice and keep the mindfulness training, then we become a pillar of our family, able to support them in time of suffering and difficulty. Along monastic theory demonstrated born under monastery don't have job in the secular work and don't have money to send home to their parents. If they practice diligently with equanimity and happiness, they are able to help many people and their family also be free from this. In difficult times, they can be spiritual leader, bringing reconciliation to their family. A monk who practices faithfully becomes the spiritual leader in his family. Even though he may be very young, when a monastery opens, he had to intervene. Her brother, sister, aunt, and uncle listen to her because they present a sort of spiritual love. We do not need to become a monarchy to have it role in our family. If we use love and spirit, let go of our attachment to outcome and by our act on compassion and love instead of anger and jealousy, we can become beloved support for our family. As a practitioner, our aim is not to make a lot of money. Our aim is to transform the suffering in our head to live in equanimity, peace and happiness, and to offer happiness to our family and those around. Our happiness multiplies exponentially when we see that we can bring happiness to those around. The reality, not suppositions. In a retreat of 500 people, there may be 100 of them who come back to 10 after they have practice. We can see the transformation in them. As each of us become more at ease and more aware of our capacity of love, we are more able to reconcile with our family and our love. One day it has been complete. It's in a long conflict where love want to erase shock or happiness right in that very moment. We don't need to wait 10 years to rehab the happiness that is free of our practice. To live honestly, generally and giving, to have a support to radiant rain, live a life of blameless conduct. This is the greatest happiness. To live honestly, to act virtually, to be true and to offer ourselves to our life, to be true not simply to save our money, make generosity. And technically, generosity does not require money. The offering of wealth, good, are only one of the many forms of generosity. The second form of generosity are first in the Dharma. We can wait offer and middle the way to practice to act like suffering. This offering is more precious than the financial offering. More precious is the third kind of offering, the gift of non-fear prayer. The right teaching is to live without fear and to teach others to do so as well. The offering of material good and the Dharma, non-fear, and the gift from Avalokita Bodhisattva. Many people are victims of this fear. If we can live with someone fear, that the right to give that we can offer them. Our life will be filled with happiness. We can have another around us. But if we spend our whole life building up our name and our fortune, then we cannot find happiness. We might have lots of money, a big house, and a luxurious car, but it's not real happiness. We can only take real happiness when we can have others around us. And we have to start with those in our family and the dear friends around us. We have to have family, relatives, and friends first before we are capable of helping others outside our circle. If we're successful in helping our brothers and sisters in the Sangha, then we definitely will be able to help our loved ones. If in our daily life we can help our brothers and sisters, then how can we offer help to others? We have to be successful in helping the people around us and alleviate the suffering. That is the highest blessing, and that blessing has lasting effect. To be able to act without regret is a source of great happiness. This must mean we have nothing to regret in our work or action toward others. We should be able to ask ourselves, have I done anything to my teacher, my friend, my father, my mother that have made me feel regret later? Asking this question will help us avoid any hint or regret, and we assume that our speech and action will not cause harm to others. When our speech and action cause no harm, we face a future without remorse, and if we are burdened with regret, happiness is impossible. If we have error in the past or said something that cause harm, we can transform that past action and regret through the process of beginning anew. We can commit ourselves to acting and speaking beautifully in the future, and then lasting happiness will again be available to us. If we can transform our mind and be determined not to say things or act in a way that we call regret, then our mind will be cleansed and become luminous. And all the mistake and error of the past will completely disappear. This is practicing according to the teaching of the Buddha. The error are reunited in our mind, and when we transform our mind, we have the determination to refrain from committing the same error in the future. When we transform our mind, we are immediately clean. The gap we feel in life and the dark must disappear. This is called the practice of beneficial regret and beginning anew. Only when we determine to make a vow to ourselves and our Sangha that we will not commit so act or spiritual work can our error and our regret can be lived. But it requires strong determination, and our determination will strong if we don't make this vow in front of both our Sangha and the Buddha. Just knowing down to practicing begin anew and taking the 5 mindfulness training with determination and resolve will instantly make our guide from the past disappear. When the mind no longer love with guide, then the guide no longer exists. That's the principle of beneficial regret and beginning anew in Buddhism. Being able to act without a hint or guide, in it we can also call it blameless conduct. to avoid unwholesome action, not kept by unwholesome or road, and to be diligent in doing good things. This is the greatest happiness. Our society is organized in a way that it treats lonely people by the tens of thousands every day. And when we carry such bear loneliness within us, it creates vacuum. When we feel compelled to feel that vacuum and forget to our suffering with drug, alcohol, glyphosate, and the kind of entertainment that destroy our body and mind. Grown-up me and prison can solve the problem of drug and alcohol. The only way to eat this sin and eating and loneliness to create an environment where young people can live joyfully. And if we ourselves don't live joyfully, we can help our children or provide them with a good environment either. Any speech, act, or talk that we feel might cause harm to others out to ourselves is unwholesome. Even a child that cause others to suffer hurt their feeling is unwholesome. Not only do the victim suffer, but their perpetrator also share the suffering. The one that can read your mind, you still suffer from negative thought. You might suffer immediately, even if you're the only one who knows it. Anything that clouds our mind is considered an intoxicant. Whether it's drug, alcohol, or gossip, we consume the intoxicant thinking that they will make us happy. But only when our mind is clear, the happiness truly becomes available to us. We should also be daily diligent in doing good deeds. If there are any work that can bring happiness to ourselves or to others, we should do it without hesitation. Even when we benefit others, we should take the fruit of happiness from it. The good deed, a blessing, and the happiness that come from doing them will surely follow. To be humble and bold in manner, to be grateful and content with a simple life, not missing the occasion or to learn the Dharma. This is the greatest happiness. To be humble means that you don't put yourself above somebody else. We can learn to be humble and to have a reverence for all others even when they are younger than we are. A young child deserves to be treated with humility and respect. Young children often evolve to a sense of contentment and gratitude, for they are content with very little. This can provide our joy and entertainment of the two. In order to be happy, we have to learn to live simply. When we live simply, we have much more time and we can be in talk with the many wonders of the life. Living simply is the creation for the new culture, the new civilization. With the development of technology, people learn more and more completed life. Shopping has replaced other activities. Our mode for sacrificing ourselves. The return for being happy to live simple life, to have harmony and peace in yourself, between yourself and the people around you. Without restriction, irritation, and anger, we must know the limit. We must know how much is enough. That is the antidote for wanting more and more. You know what is sufficient, what is enough for you. There are Vietnamese proverbs: tri túc, tin túc, đại túc, hà thời túc. That means something for good enough is enough. If we want to all our need and want we meet, we might wait forever. Tri túc means realize that it is good enough. Good enough means being content with the minimum amount necessary. Your shirt and pair of shoes can last another year. It's right for 3 of your people to say that as 14. They no need for it to hide it about them. Setting for good enough in terms of simple living will bring out contentment, satisfaction, and happiness immediately. As long as we think our lives are not good enough, we will not have happiness. As soon as we realize our lives are good enough, happiness immediately appears as a practice of contentment. In Vietnam, there is a school of Buddhism called the Four Gratitude. Just by practicing gratitude, we can find happiness. We must be grateful to our ancestors, our parents, our teacher, our friends, the earth, the sky, the tree, the grass, the animal, the soil, the storm. Looking at the sunlight of the forest, we feel gratitude. Looking at our breakfast, we feel gratitude. When we live in the spirit of gratitude, there will be more happiness in our life. The one who is grateful is the one who has more happiness, while the one who is ungrateful will not be able to have happiness. If someone offers you a teaching, a Dharma talk, that is signing a opportunity to learn the Dharma. A Dharma talk is not a lecture, but an opportunity to open ourselves up and allow the deeper level of our consciousness to be penetrated and nourished by the Dharma. Listening to the Dharma talk can take a misunderstanding and run outward earth. It can take away our craving, anger, and hate. The more toxin will remove, and the more our heart will feel light and free, the happiness will be possible, happiness grow from inside out. Those who conduct their life according to the principle will have lasting happiness. To preserve and be open to change, to have regular contact with monks and nuns, and to fully participate in Dharma discussion, this is the greatest happiness. When we can yield to reason, let someone correct us without becoming angry or resentful, then we will find that heavenly remain with us. It is indeed incredibly difficult. But when our brother and our sister born out our fire, the best thing we can do is we put our arms out together and bow in appreciation. With resonance and our fire and in our heart, the benefit in being close to one another is the opportunity to learn the Dharma. That what the young men and women like to hang around morning learn at the temple is a very great blessing. A Dharma discussion is an opportunity to impress ourselves and to listen and learn from others. We can say our joy, difficulty, insight, experience, and questions. Using love, respect, and deep listening, we can also focus on important matters of concern, such as how to create a good environment for our children, our lecture community, and the earth as a whole. To live diligently and attentively, to receive the noble truth, and to relive nirvana, it is a greatest happiness. To live diligently and attentive means working, standing, lying down, sitting, working, eating, and doing everything in mindfulness. The Four Noble Truths are the heart and the book Buddha practice. Thanks to the Four Noble Truths, we will be able to practice and rely nirvana. Nirvana is something very concrete, the absence of affliction and the presence of solidity, freedom, and well-being. To rely nirvana to completely liberate and achieve all suffering while we live in the world. All affliction are dissolved and only perfect equanimity remains. This is the full definition of happiness. Because we plenty good seed in the bed, we now have the opportunity to live among the side. In a good environment, it is easy for us to plant good seed. Seed of peace, joy, community, and happiness. Today, we are blessed to be able to sit in the middle of healthy Sangha practice. With diligence and with ease, we are bring up in the benefit of the good seed we have planted in the past. We need to continue our path and not abandon our good environment. To live in the world with your heart undisturbed by the world, without sorrow and the willing in being, this is the greatest happiness. Until we still in the modern world, our mind can be immersed to people. We don't need to be polluted by all that we see and we hear. The practice of letting go is essential for our happiness. We distance ourselves from the influence that destroy our body and mind, so that we are able to release that many worry and concern that concern us and prevent us from getting talk with the wonder of life that we need for our nourishment. There are many things that we cannot let go of, and so we meet the opportunity to get in talk with what we more important. And with that, we are refreshing and healing that is always available to us. We get caught in a kind of prison, recognizing that their worry and concern are not really important. We are able to release them, and suddenly happiness comes right away. It's like when you leave the city behind to go to the countryside. It may take 45 minutes or 1 hour to get out to the city. And when the heat begins to appear and then the breeze begins to carry your face, you feel so happy because you've been able to leave the city behind you or have had the kind of experience. Have you ever met someone who seems to be skilled in the act of letting go? A friend or teacher can remind us and help us let go of worry, craving, and concern, so we can be free to encounter the wonder of life that in the here and in the now. If we see some we live in this world who not disturbed by the ebb and flow, it applies not it meant in affliction, that person has freedom. That person is solely to see some person to hide the blessing. When we master the quality, all of worldly affliction destroy, and we become indestructible, completely or at a bit. We can become that person by practicing happiness in the present moment. For the one who can resist this is unvented wherever she goes. Always he is safe and happy living within oneself. The work-harder one has said that we should not predict the future by on what happened in the past. We need to buy the future on our action the present. Our action, our karma, our soul, our talk, our speech, our intention, our attitude. And if we live in the dark, we can generate out our blessing. Our happiness is a lasting one that can be carried onto the next line. We can find happiness no matter what situation we might be thrown into. Wherever we may go, we will feel the secure protection of the Dharma. Wherever we may go, we will feel strong and solid. The solidity comes from the practice. The right blessing, not the one that falls down from the sky that is hand to earth. The right blessing, the happiness that each of us can generate for ourselves. A short, hot history of the Sutta. The first attempt to establish the life of Cody the Buddha teaching came during his lifetime when one day in the general monastery at the Buddha could translate all his teaching to the classical method of the Vedic language. They told the Buddha that they wanted to do so in order to protect the beauty and the accuracy of the Dharma. But the Buddha didn't want his teaching to become a recent of chance reserved for scholarly. He wanted everyone to be able to study and practice the Dharma in his or her language. About 4 months after the Buddha's passing, the Venerable Mahakita convened the council of Mount Sabadaratuka Alrati in order to orally call on the Buddha teaching. 500 elder bhikkhus were invited to attend the Coronation Council, which was sponsored by Kai and the Tasu of Magaha. The language of the Coronation would naturally have been Akmagapati, the language of the Buddha. If the local retreat later developed version in the our language, it would have been based on the collation of the Rajit Council. 100 years later, a second council was convened and investigated to further collect the canon of the Buddha teaching. On the occasion, 700 people were invited to attend. After the second council in 1960 BC, the community of Kenya divided itself into two schools. The Savita would tend to be Kasavati and the Malaha Sangita would tend to promote development and reform. The follower of the Maisita were more numerous. The 300 years that followed, many other schools branched off from the three two schools according to the Samalava. By Vasumita, who belonged to the Savativada school of the northern tradition, were 18 schools in all. The third council was organized in India at Paliptipuram, that is Banaja King Savaleta, in 244-236 years after the Bashin the Buddha. At the time of Happy King Lasita learned more to what the view have said. The Silva Green moved to the north in Italy, they paid for the development in Kami with a philosophy for more than 1,000 years. The number of schools made were really liberated because the many different ways of understanding, commenting, and teaching the Buddha. Each school had handed down in 8 hours on the Chibitakata, the whole body scripture that include the Vienna Bitaka, the rule for multi-conduct, the Sutta Pitaka Busi did count and teaching the Seka Pikata, scholarly explanation and summary of the Sutta, to bit cut out the Tevada, schooner introduction to the related stable ground for practice in Sri Lanka. The Tribikata of the school is written in the Bali village language with origin in Western India. The Theravada evolved from the Vihiyavada with a school opposing the Sadativada. The Sutta and the collection of both Theravada, Bali and Chinese, and Mahayana, Sanskrit Chinese, Pali Chinese origin. However, because the word Sutta commonly used in the language, we are using it here for the whole collection. We use the word Sutta only when it appears the proper name of the Pali Sutta, such as Anapanasita Sutta of Satyapasunta. We translate the term Santi differently in the word Anapasiti and Sabdapanavana. In the former, we use Funavana, and in the later, mindfulness. They are now dialectical Matthew in the translation, also translated from the Pali and Chinese by Thích Nhất Hạnh. With Amalati and by Anh Hương Nguyễn. Commentary in originally are translated from the Vietnamese by Labolati and Anh Hương Nguyễn. To keep the translation as close to the original as possible, the text of the original Sutta have been retained with the male pronoun. He and he throughout until the masculine intent for the person and gender. I just finished the 30-minute reading now. So tired. See you later tomorrow. Don't forget to buy a small suit to bless to go this afternoon. Don't forget to buy it. Yeah. And I woke up at 1 p.m. this afternoon. Bye bye. See you later. Smiling.